y'all, it's Mishy, and I'm glad you decided to be here with me today because your girl is a whole vibe. I hope you love everything about your experience with me because I'm the bestie you never knew you needed. We have some things to talk about, love, so let's get into it. So let's grab our favorite adult beverage because we are grown and we can do that. Our favorite snacks, and let's have the conversation. Okay, I haven't really seen this movie widely discussed, you guys, but I think that we might have to have the discussion about this movie, so let's talk about it. Let me give you guys a brief synopsis of this movie just in case you have not heard of it. Ramona becomes crippled by grief after her husband dies in a car accident, leaving her to care for her 2 children alone in her rural farmhouse. Her sadness soon turns to fear when a special woman in black appears on her front lawn, warning her today's the day. As the mysterious figure creeps closer and closer to the house, Ramona realizes she must protect her children from the evil woman who simply won't leave them alone. Now, I pretty much figured out the plot of this movie from the very beginning because I am a writer. And I say that because that kind of gives me an advantage of figuring out movies because I think outside the box. So I always think of the wildest plot that could possibly be to a movie, and typically that's usually what it is. I'm not trying to be elitist when I say that, but that's how the writer brain works, is we're creatives. So we think outside of what the norm is to try to catch someone's attention and try to keep people engaged. So we just start just thinking of outlandish things that would catch your attention and a creative and tricky way to do it. So I was like, I think I know what the plot of this movie is, but I'm gonna watch it and see. And as soon as I started thinking what it was, that's exactly what it was. When the ending came out, I was like, yeah, I knew that's what it was. But it was still interesting nonetheless. But if you don't like spoilers, now is your chance to get away from this review and not listen to any further because I am going to give spoilers. So right now you are being warned. I am going to give you spoilers on this movie. I am going to tell you about it and talk about the elements of this movie. So this is your big grand chance to step away from this review and not listen to it if you plan to see The Woman in the Yard. So I'm just going to make it the assumption that everybody who has wanted to see this movie has gone and it's not going to listen. It's going to come back at a later date to hear my opinion on this movie. Now, this movie was good in my opinion because, I try to support everything black, and this had an all-black cast in it, and I appreciated that. And it was a good cast, and there were some excellent actors and actresses. The element of this movie that touched me the most was the element of her feeling depressed and isolated, because I know exactly how that feels. Having been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in the last year, it makes you feel isolated because I use a walker now, and I talk about this often, and there's not a whole lot that I can do, and I often see people doing things that I would love to do, but I can't physically do because of my ailment. I have balance issues. I have issues walking, and I'm not in physical therapy yet, and I haven't started my medication as of yet because it's very, very much a long process when you are on state insurance, and I feel kind of isolated because I don't get to do the things I normally do. I'm not working right now because of my disability and not being able to do the jobs that I would normally do. And a lot of things have occurred in the last year that have put me in a depressed state. And when you're a mother, I promise you that is a really hard thing to try to keep a straight face in front of your children while you are sitting here and battling depression. You have to try to keep this face about yourself that you are not experiencing the worst thing of your life. while your children are looking at you and staring at you and wondering what's happening and looking to you for answers and looking for you to know everything and to provide for them and to do everything. And while I only had one child, Ramona had two. And one of them was probably my daughter's age, and one of them was a really young child. And I was like, she is brave for being able to do this. Being a widow and having two children, both minors, and being out in the boondocks in a remote area and having to do all of this by herself. They showed how the bills were piling up. They showed how the power went out and she didn't have money to pay the bill. And they showed how she had to finally make some negotiations. And of course, when you make negotiations, those people don't care about you sitting in the dark for the rest of the whole night. You're just going to have to wait. Because just like they had to wait on your money, their money, you have to wait till they feel like coming back to reconnect you. So it's like a double-edged sword. She was going through enough. And then it's like, when she finally dug out of one hole, she still had to sit in that hole of darkness because she had to wait for the people to come and turn the lights back on. And it was just like, oh my God, could anything get any worse for this lady? And on top of that, there is some creepy woman sitting in her yard that is not saying anything to her, that is not responding to her, that is just saying weird shit like, today's today. It's hot as all outdoors. Her youngest child is scared. Her oldest child is kind of scared, but he's like, I don't know who this old lady is in my yard, but she needs to get out of here because she's scaring my sister. She's scaring my mom too, but my mom is trying to keep a brave face, and I'm the man of the house. And I don't know who this lady is, but she need to get out of here. And every time they look up, this lady seems like she's moving closer and closer to the house. And in actuality, she is. And then she's moving closer to the house. The next thing you know, she's going to be trying to get in the house. And lady, we don't know you, so who the fuck are you? Excuse my language. And in this crazy world we're in, and me knowing the things I know and believing in the things I believe in, yes, I do believe in God and Jesus, but I also know that people practice witchcraft and the evil kind, not the good kind, because there is dark and light on every side of things, and they will do some evil things to you, like try to put spells on you, hexes on you, try to send somebody after you, all kind of things. And who knows what weirdo decided that they wanted to attack her and her children just randomly. And this lady was dressed like somebody who was up to no good and wanting to attack her and her children. And she, of course, is going in mama bear mode like, lady, I don't know you, but I'm not about to let you hurt my children. And rightfully so, because you're weird. I don't know you. You're not answering, and all you keep saying is today's today. But there was the psychological element to it. This ended up being all her and all in her head. And if people were more community-like and had been checking on her and making sure she was good and being in community with her and her children, then they would have known that this lady was on the brink. She was close to snapping. She was losing it. She was depressed. She was sad. She was going through things. She was experiencing psychosis, and that her and her children were in danger. And the danger was literally her. She was a danger to herself, and she was definitely a danger to her children. And when we say it takes a village, it does take a village. You can't just go about your life and ignore everybody and everything, because everything is going fine for you and you don't want your perfect world to crumble because you have to be burdened with somebody else's issues. That's what community is. That's what loving thy neighbor is. That's what a village is. And if you're not willing to be a village, then don't talk about it. If you can't be about it, don't talk about it. Because you're talking about how you're in this village and you're talking about how you're for your people, but you have your people over here that are supposed to be the closest to you suffering and going through all these different things, and you don't even notice. that is something I identify with greatly, because that is something I experienced and am currently experiencing. While I am not a widow, I definitely experienced losses of some sort and have gone through many, many different things. And I feel like the village that I thought I had wasn't there for me. They slammed their doors in my faces and they acted like I didn't exist and are acting like till this day that I don't exist. They are not reaching out to me. They are not communicating with me. They are not checking on me. And that's the thing that hurts, and that hurts me the most. So remember, be a village and be a village to everyone.
Can't duplicate, only fabricate. This is custom made. Goddess energy, bet you never seen a goddess.
Well, we talked and a time was had by all. I definitely appreciate you taking the time to be here with me today. Make sure you take the time to like, subscribe, and especially share, because you know that's free. Go out into the world, do good things, and be good people. Love you guys. I'm out. Peace.